Elio guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's little video though, we're going to be taking a look at the Minicats because they did have their edition of the light and dark versions. I just haven't done the video yet, so it's time to get that video in, boys. Alright, so starting off here we have Fire Minicat, who is a tank type. He's coming in with 35k HP, 1.7k attack, and then 1.4k defense. Obviously as a tank, as implied, plenty of HP up there. Even though as a Nat 3, that HP is kind of a bit of a weird champ, man. I'm sure there's some like Nat 2s with more HP than you as a tank. What's going on there? But let's take a look at the skills though. For Fire Minicat's 3-star skill, it has Adrenaline, which its attacks restore allies' HP in an amount equal to 10% of its own max HP, hence it being a tank with a lot of HP. It's basically saying, hey man, you need to go and build me with HP if you want this Adrenaline to work. And then for its 5-star skill, it has Purification, which grants a 100% chance to cleanse all allies of all negative effects. Now, it also does have the Charging Stance variant skill, which is nice, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's take a look at the books real quick. Adrenaline gets a 25% damage boost, which, what is that? 1.7k attack stat? I mean, maybe bump up to 15% instead, because that's still going to do like dirt nasty nothing. And then we can see with Purification that gets a 30% recovery boost as well, which is perfectly fine. But in most scenarios, I haven't really found myself needing Purification. Maybe I've just played the game for too long, but the way that MSO works for a lot of things is basically try and do your best to kill it before it kills you. It's not like a delayed battle system where, oh, we're going to have this many turns, this many turns, this many turns, so I need to make sure that I survive. It's like, I'm going to go in there, either someone's going to die or I'm going to die, and that's it. Now, in terms of like the Elemental Tower of Chaos, especially with the new floors being added, I believe up to like 100 or something, this could prove to be useful. But we also have this magical Astromon called Fire Jacket, at least for that scenario, where, once again, it's like, I'm going to go in there, someone's going to die, or I'm going to die, and that's it. So, I personally don't find them super duper useful, but if you guys do have a Fire Minicat, feel free to leave that in the comments below where you use them at. So, once people check out this video, they can go take a look and be like, oh, okay, actually, let me go ahead and build them up for something other than the Astro Guide. Alright, moving forward though, we have Water Minicat, who is a recovery type, coming in with 28k HP, 1.6k attack, and then 1.5k defense. And since it's a recovery Astromon, it has 2.6k recovery, which isn't bad at all. Obviously, once you get above 3k, in my opinion, you're at a pretty good point. But as a Nat 3, things cannot be perfect. It just doesn't work that way. But let's take a look at the skills real quick. So for its 3-star skill, it has Morale Boost, which grants a 100% chance to restore 30% of its own SP when attacking, which then leads us to its 5-star skill, which grants a shield to allies for 2 turns. Now this doesn't indicate that it's a HP shield, so this is obviously just going to be a level based shield, which is okay. I mean, he's in that 3, it's okay. Let's take a look at the books though. So Morale Boost gets a 20% damage increase, and it goes to 25%, I believe. No, 35%. 35. Yep, 35%. And then Shield gets a 20% recovery upgrade, and it goes to 3 turns. Goes to 3 turns. So, I mean, once again, especially if you're a newer player, this shield could be useful for you depending on what type of content that you're doing. But as far as I'm aware, taking a look at my Titan lineup, I don't use any of the Water Minicats for its shield because it's a level-based shield, which isn't really optimal by no means, at least in my opinion. So, I mean, you could build it up, but there's not really a place to use it. Once again, you could say the Elemental Tower of Chaos, but I haven't ran into a scenario where I needed a shielder for that situation. In other regards to PvE, once again, not really a situation where I would need this specific Astromon because I would just bring something else with a better shield. So I would just say it's for the Astro Guide, unless you guys have another creative idea of where you could put this bad boy to use. But I mean, that's pretty much Water Minicat. Moving forward, though, we have Mr. Smiley Face himself, Wood Minicat, who's also recovery type, coming in with 26k HP, 1.8k attack, 1.6k defense, and then 2.6k recovery. Now, why I said that he's Mr. Smiley Face himself? Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let's take a look at his skills real quick. So for his 3-star skill, he has Exposed Weakness, which grants an 80% chance to expose the enemy's weakness for 1 turn. So once that debuff goes up, if another mon comes over there and hits them after the debuff has been applied, they do a lot more damage. And then for his 5-star skill, he has Attack Up, which increases allies' attack power for 2 turns. Not only increasing their attack power, but also healing them up. So really, really great Astromon, especially with recent changes to him. And with his variant skill, the Charging Stance, which decreases enemies' defense by 30 to 35%, there's nothing I can say. This mon is absolutely bonkers. Now, this applies mainly to Titans. You can also use them in the Elemental Tower of Chaos, because that's where I have been using mine on occasion. But obviously a Titan's mon, because that leader skill is great. And also with his timing with Exposed Weakness, having him on the left lane or the left side of your Titan teams, depending on what other Astromon are on those sides of your teams, is just Smiley Face in general, because you can have things line up to where my Merlin on the right side is going to get Exposed Weakness from Meowings. You can also have things line up to where, you know, I need to get some more damage out of my crew. So I'm going to go ahead, heal him up, pop that attack up, and we're going to squeeze a little bit more damage out of him. So very, very great Titan unit, especially as a Nat 3. He's dirt nasty, easy to get, and dirt nasty, easy to get that variant status. And, you know, I rock 2 of them right now. He's just great. And we can see here with books, Exposed Weakness gets a 10% damage boost. It goes, what, to 90%? It goes to 90% for 2 turns, and then Attack Up goes to 3 turns and also gets a recovery boost as well, so making that heal a little bit more potent. He's great, man. He's great. Alright, and then coming in next, though, we have Light Minicat, who's a recovery type, coming in with 26k HP, 1.7k attack, 1.7k defense, and nearly 2.9k recovery. So that recovery stat is pretty fat, which obviously as a healer, it should be, because why you're going to be a recovery Astromon if you have no recovery? Just saying. Let's take a look at the skills, though. So for Light Minicat's 3-star skill, it has Defense Down, which grants a 70% chance to reduce the enemy's defense for 2 turns. And then for his 5-star skill, it has Defense Up. So very similar to Wood Minicat. Very, very similar to that. But obviously Wood Minicat has Attack Up, and this one has Defense Up. So once again, I would say this is more of a Titan-orientated Astromon, but I don't know. This one's set kind of weird to me, because I'm not really sure if I would say that it's useful or not, especially with how Titan lineups are at the moment. Because, I mean, the defense down and the debuffing's great, and the defense up would work as well. But if you go in there and you're fighting like Dark Titan, he's gonna get destroyed. Like, there's no way around it. With that very, very anemic 1.7k defense stat, even if you build him defensively, he's just going to get destroyed before that defense up could possibly get off. And if it does, I don't see how amazing that's going to be, depending on what mon that you could bring in that situation to replace Minicat. So he's in kind of in a bit of an awkward state for me. I haven't really used him in the light dungeon either. I'm not saying that he's not useful for Titans or in the Elemental Tower of Chaos, the light area of that. He's just a bit of a weird champ, at least in my opinion. But with defense down, it gets a 20% damage increase, and it goes, what, to 90% for 2 turns? Nope, 80% for 2 turns. And then defense up gets a 20% recovery boost, and that goes to 3 turns. Yeah, I'm just not sure about this one. So if you guys have any inputs on Light Minicat, feel free to leave that in the comments below. I did throw him on my team for Caslio, but that's just because I needed a healer to basically fill the slot, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I haven't really been paying attention to seeing how well he performs versus how well he doesn't perform, but I don't think he's very optimal at all with that anemic stat. And don't mind me while I'm talking, I'm over here trying to buffer some time out, because we have Light Pixie, which is what I originally wanted to compare him to, but Light Pixie has Zeal versus the defense down. While, I mean, not zeal, but vigor versus not defense down, defense up. So same thing for their 3-star skill, but the 5-star skill is different. And vigor heals your Astromon for a very, very good portion over a couple turns, while defense down is 1 heal and then defense up. Which, I mean, Light Pixie is popular in terms of her uses, but I was just trying to see if I could, like, basically try and substitute a Light Minicat for Light Pixie at the moment, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Alright, and to go ahead and end things, you guys, we have Dark Minicat over here, who's a tank type, coming in with 33k HP, 1.6k attack, and then 2k defense. So HP, once again, is pretty bad, actually, because he's a Dark Nat 3, and I could have sworn one of the other Minicats had a lot more HP than he did, like 2 or 3k more, which bit odd, but I mean, it is what it is. But his recovery stat isn't bad. It's almost 2.6k, which, I mean, if his HP wasn't so high, I guess he would technically be considered a recovery type for whatever reason. But let's take a look at his skills. For his 3-star skill, he has Adrenaline, which obviously, as we stated before, once he attacks, he can heal the entire squad to 10% of his own max HP, and with him being a tank type, he should be built with plenty of HP to reap the best benefits from Adrenaline as possible. And then for his 5-star skill, he has Attack Up, very similar to Wood Minicat, which will last for 2 turns and, you know, helps to raise up the damage for the entire squad. And then for the book situation here, Adrenaline gets a 25% damage increase, but with a 1.6k attack stat, it doesn't matter. And then for his Attack Up, that gets a 20% recovery increase, which is pretty great, and then it goes to 3 turns. So pretty standard here. In terms of uses, the Adrenaline part of it isn't that useful. I mean, it's nice that you're having a little bit of healing going on every single turn if you were to use him in a Titan situation, but the Attack Up is pretty nice. If his Adrenaline could have been replaced with something else, like hint, 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 like Attack Down, I think that would have made him a lot more phenomenal. So once again, he is usable in a Titan situation. Currently, I do use him on the casual account because I don't have any. Actually, I might have a Dark Venus, or maybe I have 2 Dark Venuses, but they're Evo 1. Like, if they're Evo 2, I would use them because they'll be effective up to a certain point, but at Evo 1, it's just no point. But you could, I guess, in theory, replace your Venuses with Dark Minicat, but pause. I don't mean like replace as in once I Evo 3 Dark Minicat, I'm just going to replace my Venuses. I mean, if you don't have Venus, and this is the only thing that you've been pulling from eggs, you could throw that into the slot until you get Dark Venus. But it's never going to be Dark Venus. It's never going to replace Dark Venus. And keep that in mind, because you're missing that Attack Down, and while the Attack Up is nice, you know, he's going to drop off hardcore, especially with his stats. It is what it is. He's just in an awkward state once again. Perhaps he does have his uses in the Dark Elemental of Chaos, but I myself haven't ran into that issue with needing to take him out, because there's just other Dark Astromon that you could use. But it's really up to you guys to decide. But let me go ahead and wrap this up, you guys. So, Light and Dark Minicat are a great addition to the Astro Guide here. And in my own personal ranking, because you guys like to hear this type of thing, I would say for sure, at least personally speaking, Wood Minicat is number 1 for me. And then after that will be Dark. I forgot Light's moves already. I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, it'd be Wood Minicat number 1, Dark 2, Light number 3. What was Fire Minicat skills? Oh, Purification. Okay, one more time, guys. One more time. Let me pull up their skills real quick. Okay, I got this. Wood's going to be number 1 for your boy. We're going to go ahead and say number 2 is Dark. Number 3 is Light. Number 4 is going to be Water. And then number 26 on the list is going to be Fire. But that's pretty much it for the Minicat review, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much. If you haven't considered subscribing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest in MSL and more. If you haven't joined the Discord, feel free to join it. The link to the Discord is always in the description of MSL videos below. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And yep, that's pretty much it, you guys. See ya.